What is going on, everybody? It is your boy, your man, Toxic Gambler, back at it with another video. Today we're doing yet another monthly check, this time for January of 2024. And for those who are new to the channel and new to my monthly checks in general, it is where I rank every single movie that I watched last month from the worst to the best, including new releases and movies I've never seen before that most people have seen before. And if I'm burping a lot, sorry. But before we get sexual, beginning of the monthly check itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 600 subscribers, just 9 away now. Really happy at your boys who did subscribe. Also, if you missed my previous monthly checks I've done in the past, they're in a playlist on my YouTube channel. If you'd like to check that out now, also don't forget to like the video, because let me know that you do like my toxic monthly checks, and help with the YouTube algorithm recommend the video more. And do feel free to comment your monthly checks down below as well. And also, after I get done I forgot to mention, after I get done ranking every single movie I watched last month, I do my overhaul, which is like new movies I got, well, not just new movies, but new stuff in general I got this month, last month. And also, I will show my updated ceiling, as you guys can see with the pictures that I drew, and I have good news. There are 2 brand new ones. Only 2, though. But with that being said, guys, let's just get right into it. And this month, I saw a total of 16 movies, and only 5 of them are new releases, and I wasn't able to check out all the new releases. Like, I really wanted to see Mean Girls, we just never got around to it. And Book of Clarence I was interested in, but I never got around to seeing it, so there's that. But yeah, all the rest of the ones that are, except the 5, are movies that I've seen that everybody else has seen before. So coming in at number 16th place is a very Brady sequel. So I watched both the first Brady Bunch movie and this one, which I watched some episodes of the original Brady Bunch TV show, but I'm not like a die-hard fan or anything, but my mom is. And I remember a while back, I saw that there was a Brady Bunch 2-pack, and I wanted to buy it because it was like $5 for both of them on DVD. So, like, when I was younger, so I said, why not? I'll buy it. But my mom said, oh no, those movies are going to be garbage or whatever, and sold the TV show. So, I finally got around to watching them, and the first one, I'll say, is a higher on the list. But this one was just okay. It's not bad, but it was just weird. There's a whole entire situation in the movie that's very weird compared to the original the other Brady Bunch movie, because basically the plot is somewhat interesting, where the mom of the Brady Bunch that had a previous husband, and he ends up coming back in their life, and some of her kids are basically step sisters to the brothers of the dad, and they add a weird thing that happens in here with like the half sister and then the half brother that I don't know why it not half sister, half brother, step brother and step sister, where I don't know why it just decreased the movie like by quite amount for me, because it's weird, where basically they both are going like, oh, that you're kind of, I didn't realize how hot you were or whatever, and it's just a really weird scenario that I was just cringing during most of the time, and yeah, I thought it was very weird. So that's why it mostly comes in at number 16. And besides from that, I can't really remember anything else besides Dad comes back, and also there's the siblings. Coming in at number 15, I have Henry V, which was one of my final movies as literature's movies before ending the class, and it's has a star-studded cast. It has Emma Thompson in here. It has Kenneth Branagh in the lead, and also directing and writing the screenplay. Man, does he like multitasking for his movies. And it also has a very, very young Christian Bale when he's like, I don't know how old he is, but he's in a little minor role, so it was cool to see him in here, like, in his younger days before he became, like, A-list top actor. And, the movie overall, for those that don't know, I'm not really into big period pieces. And this is one of them. I can respect it's a very well made movie, but I don't think it's one that I will be revisiting much. And also, I can't remember a whole lot of things besides the acting is good and the war scene was quite good, but I can't remember anything else from this movie. It's definitely for, I would say, if you're into period pieces, it's definitely for you. But as for someone that isn't really big into period piece films, I didn't enjoy it, even though I thought the acting and the war scenes were pretty cool. Coming in at number 14, we have Lift, the first new release on here, and this is a straight-to-Netflix heist slash action movie with Kevin Hart, which, Kevin Hart, I saw the name and went, oh, okay, so this could be good. And unfortunately, it wasn't that. It's not memorable whatsoever. It's not a bad movie, but it's just very meh. Like, it's not memorable at all. Jacob Batalon's in here as a little cameo, which is cool. They also have Vincent D'Onofrio in here, which he's fun in here playing this kind of goofy role compared to the more serious roles he's done. And aside from that, I can't really tell you much. The acting's okay. And the heist aspect's okay, I guess. It's just meh. It's meh. And it so far is my least favorite movie of the year. But it's not terrible, though. Coming in at number 13, I have Alien Resurrection, which, for those who do not know, I've watched the first Alien and Aliens. I've watched those for, like, I watched those the first time when I was like 5, so I never watched any of the sequels besides Prometheus, which that's not a sequel, that's a prequel. But I thought to myself, why not watch Alien 3 and Alien Resurrection, because I never watched them, and also Alien Romulus is coming out this year, which I'm super stoked for that. And Alien Resurrection, I think, is the definition of a weird movie. Like, they have a thing going on near the end where there's this human-alien hybrid that's all super, like, white and stuff. I don't know how to describe it, but it's super weird. This one, also, out of the Alien movies, is the one that doesn't take it... The one that basically is the most goofiest, where it has Ellen Ripley, or clone of Ellen Ripley playing basketball, and that was weird. This does have a star-studded cast, though, as Ron Perlman in here. It has Brad Dourif as a Chucky fan. That was cool to see him in here. Also, bringing Sigourney Weaver back. Winona Ryder's in this. All around, pretty star-studded cast. I'll say this, the Carnage candy, if you will, is pretty good in here. It's not, like, the best Carnage candy in the Alien franchise, but it is definitely delivers as a horror fan. And, but besides from that, characters are not really that interesting. The humorous aspects of the movie, I don't think mesh well with the whole entire Alien plot line. There's an underwater sequence that is kinda cool, but it's weird because the aliens are all CGI. It doesn't work. And it's, yeah, it's just a very, not a good movie in the Alien franchise. And coming in right about that is Alien 3, which... in the Alien fan base, I've heard like two different type of people where which one do you hate the more, Alien Resurrection or Alien 3? I would say I don't overall hate them, but I don't necessarily like them. But Alien 3, I think I enjoyed a little bit more than Alien Resurrection, but I still didn't like it, though. Like, biggest negatives out of the way. The opening of the movie totally undoes the satisfying ending of Aliens, and spoiler alert, I mean, did I talk spoilers? I don't know. I wouldn't recommend this, but if you love Aliens and don't want to see this, probably stick around. But basically, they kill off all the characters that survived the last film, except for Ripley, in the beginning of the beginning, like, 5 minutes of the movie. And it's just like, come on, really? It's like what they did with the Dream Warriors in Dream Master, how Freddy comes back alive and kills them. This happens here, and it's just, come on, really? You had to undo that satisfying ending? The plot line with Ripley having an alien in her stomach's interesting, I guess, but the payoff is not satisfying whatsoever. How she just basically leaps off the top of the, I don't know where it was, but she leaps and then falls into pit of molten fire, lava, whatever. And alien dies with them, so there's no longer any aliens out there. Cast pretty decent. I just overall, and then there's a scene in here which I think is really good, but the CGI is quite terrible, where there's all these people, escaped convicts and stuff, and they're all trying to distract the alien in this, I don't know how to explain it, but kind of like a maze where there's like a bunch of different corridors and they're trying to lead the alien to the outside to get kind of hit or whatever. I thought that was pretty cool. But besides that, Alien 3 is not good. Coming in at number 11, I know I'm in the high minority, like the 0.01%, I'm pretty sure. But I have Night Swim. Yes, I enjoyed Alien Resurrection. I enjoyed this more than the Alien Resurrection and Alien 3 and Henry V. It's not a good movie, I will admit. It's not a good movie. But is it watchably bad movie, kind of? Yes, it is. For me, personally. The dialogue is dreadful during most of the movie, but it fits the type of movie it is. The scares, not all that scary, really. It's a movie you've seen before. I think it's, like, watchably bad. I'll leave it at that. I did a review. Yeah, like I said, it's not good. It's okay. I'll say that. But, yeah, if you want to see my full thoughts on that, I did a review back in a few weeks ago, so, yeah. Coming in at number 10, the Brady Bunch movie. And kind of the same thing with 16, a Very Brady sequel. I don't remember much about this. The only things I remember were I thought it was decent enough Brady Bunch movie adapted into movie form. And also, I thought the plot line with the girl basically running away or whatever was just eh. So, I don't really remember much else in this movie, so it comes in at number 10. Coming in at number 9, my opinion slightly dropped on this movie quite a bit, but I still thoroughly enjoyed it, I think, and that is ISS, aka International Space Station, if you're curious what the ISS stands for. And, the plot for this movie is great. It's very unique, where basically you have three astronauts and 3 cosmonauts, and they all get orders from their governments to go to the International Space Station, and when they're up there, they realize that a nuclear war has happened on Earth with the Americans facing the Russians, and the Russians tell the cosmonauts to basically infiltrate the ISS by any means necessary, like to kill the Americans. And the cosmonauts don't know, but kind of guess that the Americans also got a message from the American government to basically take over the International Space Station by any means necessary. And I think that is a definitely interesting plot for a thriller. The performances in here are all pretty good. The character development besides two characters isn't handled very well. Also, CGI's hit or miss. It's like middle ground. The plot itself that I just described to you, I think this movie should have been a lot better with that plot, but it just ends up being that was decent. And the that there's aspects in this movie where it slows down during some certain points to basically build up that tension, and I think when some of those points happen, it really does slow down. But yeah, ISS coming in at number 9. Decent enough. Coming in at number 8, we have Gravity, which ironically, I just watched that after ISS, the day after, I think. And Gravity is definitely on the same lines of ISS, but it's more of the plot's basically where did I really almost just say Sigourney Weaver? Sorry. Sandra Bullock gets stranded out in space, and George Clooney ends up being with her, and they're trying to get back to the International Space Station before the International Space Station goes back to Earth, and they're traveling through space, and it was fine. I never watched this movie before, but my parents watched it once, and yeah, I never got around to watching it until now, and yeah, it's fine. It's not memorable but it's definitely entertaining for the scenes that you do get to see. So I can't remember anything else really, but I remember it was solid. Coming in at number 7, A Man for All the Seasons. Another movie I kind of forgot about this month. I remember the performance as being good, the set pieces being good, and also the costuming was pretty good as well. But I just don't remember much about it. And I think this was indeed, no. It's the next one we're about to talk about. That was for Movies as Literature, and this one's also for Movies as Literature, and this was the final one I watched. And it is Chariots of Fire coming in at number 6. It's based on a true story, I believe, about these two I forgot what it was called. I forgot what the term was. But there are 2 Jews, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, down in the comment section. And one represents Scotland, I believe, and then one represents the UK. And they both take place in the Summer Olympics in 1920 something, right before World War II ended up beginning. And this got a lot of Oscars, and I think it definitely deserves that. It was definitely a great movie. The acting, all was top-notch. I think all the awards are definitely well-deserved. Music was pretty good. The character development was pretty good. Otherwise, I don't really have anything else to say. I enjoyed Chariots of Fire. Coming in at number 5, I have Badland Hunters, this was my most recent movie I watched before this list ended up coming out today. Badland Hunters is about... the plot is kind of all over the place, because the plot goes as this, really, where basically it's post-apocalyptic. There's an outbreak with these sort of human hybrid animal things, and basically people just have to survive them. But there's also the other side plot that's happening, which is kind of the main plot, where this one girl ends up getting taken by these lizard people, I guess I'll call them, and basically her friends try to get her back and survive together. So, this is my third indie film I've watched, or, yeah, the third Korean film or indie film or foreign film. There you go. That I've watched, and honestly, still pretty good. I haven't had a bad in indie or foreign film yet. Which the only ones I've seen are Godzilla -1, Train to Busan, and this. And I think this one's quite good. The action in here is phenomenal. I think it's John Wick level. Maybe not that far. I don't know. It's just really great action. Probably the best part of the movie. There's some sci-fi aspects that were pretty interesting, with this sort of serum that makes you turn into a human lizard hybrid or whatever. Gore in here was pretty good. As a horror movie fan, it's not really horror, it's more like action horror, if you will, in sci-fi. Action was really good, as I said before. Performances all pretty good. CGI was pretty decent as well. Like, Hollywood, take notes and do better CGI, please, because Japan and Korea, they know what they're doing with their movies with their CGI, because, yeah. Godzilla -1 especially, but this one had some pretty good CGI. There's a whole entire scene with a crocodile trying to kill people and stuff. It's pretty good. But my biggest negative, like I said before, is the plot, because seems like there's a lot of subplots going on at the same exact time, when I thought the plot was going to be like all sorts of animals and lizard human hybrids all being set on the loose and people trying to survive them in this post-apocalyptic world, which it doesn't really do that, and it does it in this enclosed area outside of the apocalyptic world with all the animals and stuff. So really good, really good. Coming in at number 4, I have Gattaca, which Gattaca is a sci-fi movie with Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman, and I think this is a movie where they fell in love with each other for a certain amount of time. And yeah, this was pretty good, and also has Jude Law in it. I forgot to mention that. Definitely interesting. The journey Ethan Hawke's character is going on is really interesting. The sci-fi aspects I don't really much see, besides, like, they're trying to make this serum. I forgot for what, but they're trying to make this serum that was quite interesting. The backstory with I'm fumbling up my words here. The journey Ethan Hawke's character goes on from when he's a kid to now is really good, and the story him and his brother had, where they're trying to see who ends up swimming the fastest and see who chickens out first. I thought that storyline was pretty good. And yeah, overall, pretty solid sci-fi movie. Coming in at number 3, top 3 people, by the way, I forgot to mention that. Coming in at number 3, The Beekeeper. Actually, this went up with my review. Beekeeper is a lot of fun. It's not anything amazing, but it's definitely a lot of fun, as I said before. It's no pun intended, a bee movie. And it's definitely self-aware with that, having bee puns left and right, and it can be very corny for some people, but it was funny for me. Jason Statham's fun as our lead protagonist. It's just another one of his movies. Josh Hutcherson as the villain, I thought was a lot of fun, and you could tell he's having a lot of fun playing this rich, spoiled brat kid. I thought he was really did a good job of playing a despicable person, but being a fun little despicable person that you want Jason Statham to kill. Jeremy Irons is in here, is pretty fun too. all the action scenes pretty decent, not like amazing, but it's pretty good action filming there. David Ayer does a solid job of directing. This is my second movie I've seen him direct, I think. I forgot which other ones he's done besides this and the Suicide Squad. Well, not the Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad 2016. And yeah, overall, it's just a fun time. And I think this was my pick for the best new release this month, which I actually thought ISS was going to win. But over time, my opinion kind of changed on ISS, but I still enjoy it. Coming in at number 2, just edging out the number 1 spot, we have The Cable Guy. I've never seen The Cable Guy with Jim Carrey. And I was excited to put this one on. And when I finally watched it, yeah, it was a lot of fun. Probably one of Jim Carrey's best comedies. He's this cable guy, as you can tell by the title. And he basically wants to become friends with Matthew Broderick's character, and after helping him with his TV, and I think he delivers a lot of fun in this role. It's kind of like a thriller / comedy, but it's not really thrilling or scary. But it's funny how balls to the walls crazy Jim Carrey can get in this movie, and it has a couple gut-busting laughs here and there. It was funny. So, Cable Guy comes in at number 2. But coming in at number 1, this movie might be controversial nowadays if they were like to make a reboot, or re-release this in theaters. But it is Red Dawn from 1984. Yeah, for those who do not know, I have watched the Red Dawn reboot. That's the one I grew up on and never watched the original until now, which I have the 4K over there somewhere. And Red Dawn, this is way more better than the reboot, which I thought, oh, am I gonna end up liking the reboot more than the original? Since I watched the reboot first? No. I think the reboot definitely has a little bit more glaring flaws than the original does, but I think it's still overall pretty decent. But this one, I have no flaws with it. It was an interesting idea for the time. What if the Russians and the Koreans ended up taking over the US of A, and basically is running the whole entire USA. And basically, what if there were these rebels called Wolverines? And actually, I take that back. There is one flaw I have, which, spoilers, I guess. But, yeah, spoilers. In the reboot, I feel as if they had a lot more people survive than in this one, because in this one they just have 2 people survive, and on the reboot they have more people survive. Because in this one they kill off what's that character's name? I forgot what his name was. Robert, right? I think that's what his name was. Whoever Josh Hutcherson's character plays in the reboot in Philip Seymour Hoffman? No. Not Philip Seymour Hoffman. What's the kid's name? Or the actor's name, sorry. I forgot what his name was, but his character dies in this, which I was not expecting because he doesn't die in the reboot, so. Patrick Swayze in here is great as the main character, and Chris Hemsworth, I think, also does a good job of playing a modern-day version of him. Him and Charlie Sheen, I believe the actor's name is, have chemistry in this movie as brothers. They do really good. And I think this is, out of the Patrick Swayze movies I've seen, I think this is probably the best acting I've seen of him. You get to see his dramatic acting. And overall, I really enjoyed this movie with the exception of, almost everyone dying except for 2. So, yeah, Red Dawn 1984, solid recommend. So, be sure to if you haven't seen that, be sure to check that one out. Alright, so now we move on to my overhaul. I don't know why I was fumbling up my words there, but don't mind me. Alright, so we'll start off with the ones that I got from my Yellow's collection. And, this is Henry V. Well, it's not really all of my dad's collection, but it's in the family cabinet. Henry V, as I talked about before I watched this movie this month, at number 15, so my thoughts are on there if you want to go back and check out my opinion on that. Then we got Star Trek Into Darkness, my favorite Star Trek movie, which I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but the Star Trek Into Darkness, I love. And I've even loved that when I first saw it. It's really great. And also, Benedict Cumberbatch as Khan is very fun in that role. Well, not very fun, but he's very menacing in that role. And I think does a great job of making a good readaptation of Khan. And the Chris Pine is the best he's been as Kirk in this one, and also the guy that plays Spock does the best he's ever done too, and has a lot of dramatic stuff going on throughout the film. So Star Trek Into Darkness, I love that movie, and it's the most darkest Star Trek movie, if you ironically. So yeah, and then we got Chim Chimney, Chim Chim, Chim Chim True, Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins, classic, nothing else I really have to say. It's a classic movie, and definitely a classic Disney movie. It's up there in, like, the top 50 best Disney movies, I would say. Yeah, everything about that movie is flawless. Then we got A Christmas Carol. Wait, what year did this come out? Because there's, like, almost 10 different versions of these. What year? It doesn't say what year you came out. No, not 1979. No, 1951, I think. I don't know what year this came out, but this is probably in my top 3 Christmas Carol movies, so definitely enjoy that one. And then we got Van Helsing, and I've never seen Van Helsing. I know the CGI is pretty bad, but it has Hugh Jackman in here as Van Helsing in that role. I've seen it a couple of times at Universal in the, like, horror store afterwards. Always wanted to buy it, but never got a chance to, so now I have it, so I can watch it. Now we get to the actual stuff that were gifted to me and I bought, which I bought most of the stuff except for one item, which we'll get to the item first that I got gifted, and it is a 2-pack Funko Pop, right? These are Funko Pops. Okay, I was just making sure. A 2-pack Funko Pop of Dead Doctor Strange and Scarlet Witch from Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, which I do enjoy that movie. I think I enjoyed it a little bit more than the first one, and but it does have glaring flaws, though. But this is a cool, unique Doctor Strange Funko Pop in here, so yeah. Now we go on to the stuff I actually bought, which I have Gattaca, which, as I said before, with Henry V. If you want to hear my thoughts on it, go back to entry number 4. So there's that. Then we also got My Hero Academia Season 1 on Blu-ray, which I started watching the show at Jackson Ace's house. And for those who do not know, those are my friends that I play Fortnite with them and all sorts of games and stuff. And I love the show, so I said, "Oh, I gotta buy this," and I bought it so I didn't have to wait every single time to watch it over there at their house because they've already watched the show already. And I watched the whole entire season because I didn't finish it when I was over there, so I rewatched the whole entire show and finished it. And my goodness, 10 out of 10 season of TV. And this was my first anime I have ever watched. So, yeah, and it definitely made me want to visit the other realms of anime. And, yeah, can't wait to watch season 2 because season 1 was phenomenal. So, can't wait to see that. when I eventually get around to it. Next up, we have an upgrade, because I had the DVD, and I wanted to upgrade it to a Blu-ray. So, I got Popeye on Blu-ray, which, the first time I watched it, I thought it was, yeah, I went like, yeah, that was pretty good. But, over time, since I've visited the Cartoon Land, or whatever they call it in Universal, I found a lot of nostalgia for this movie, because I do think it's very accurate to the Popeye world, and Robin Williams is a great Popeye, and yeah, this movie's a lot of fun. So Popeye, yes, if you're a Popeye fan, I think you would love the live-action movie. Then the final thing, probably the biggest pick of the month this month, is Five Nights at Freddy's on 4K. And we rewatched this, and as a fan of the lore and the games that I've played and watched people play, there are some flaws with this, but overall, I do enjoy it. I gave it a B+ when it came out. I'll probably still give it a B+. Maybe I would give it a B now. I think I would probably give it a B now. The animatronics are very well done. The acting, I thought, was all pretty good. The writing was pretty decent enough. But especially one character's dialogue, I thought was a little bit weird, how they wrote things. AKA Vanessa. The acting overall is top notch, I think. Especially from Piper Rubio and Josh Hutcherson. They both do really good or good to great in that. Matthew Lillard's fun as Afton, and also the kills are pretty decent for a PG-13 movie. So, but I wish they showed a little bit more blood, but they don't really show a little bit more blood. And jump scare is pretty okay, and it's overall just for the fans. But I did have my criticisms, though. I thought the whole entire brother subplot, where he was trying to find his brother during the dreams or whatever, I thought that subplot really dragged the movie down for me, because it's how it basically that tied into all Five Nights. I didn't really enjoy that, because I wanted to see him like do the thing with the doors and stuff and see, oh my goodness, they're passing this way or whatever. But overall, cannot wait for the sequel, and I did thoroughly enjoy the Five Nights at Freddy's movie. Five Nights at Freddy's. I was trying to re-sing the song. Okay, now we move on to the pictures on my ceiling, which I have too, so yeah. Alright, first up we got Walking Dead, the Telltale series, and this is specifically A New Frontier, because that was the best picture I could find, and the best picture I could draw. We got Clementine. I think his name's Javier, I think. You got him, you got Walker. I forgot what her name was, and I forgot what his name was, and then we got some walkers detailed in the background, so there's the Walking Dead one. And I also got St. Nicholas, Story of Joyful Giving, VeggieTales story. I don't know why, I just randomly drew it. So I started drawing it, and I said, oh, okay, I'll finish it. So yeah, there's that, and yeah. Alrighty then, but with that being said, guys, I hope y'all enjoyed this January 2024 monthly check. But before we get to actual ending of don't mind me, guys, I'm tired. But before we get to actual ending of the video itself, guys, don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel, because number one, it's absolutely free. Number two, we're on the road to 600 subscribers, just a 9 away now. Would really help out your boy if you did subscribe. Also, if you missed my previous monthly checks I've done in the past, they're in a post on my YouTube channel if you'd like to check that out now. Also, don't forget to like the video as well, because let me know that you do like my toxic monthly checks and help with the YouTube algorithm recommending the video more. Don't forget to ring the bell for all notifications of my schedule upload, because we do multiple uploads here on the channel every single day. Also, share the video, because also, man, I'll get some more people join the toxic family. And feel free to comment on the video as well, guys, your monthly checks. But with that being said, guys, I'll see y'all next one, everybody. Peace.